Hi, my name is Debbie, and this is Apple Harvest Stitching. This is a floss tube about cross stitch, and I've come back to chat with you today about some whips I had forgotten last time, and also several kitted projects that are in the running for me to start during my I must stitch on whatever I feel like rampage. So I figured I'd come back. It's actually Tuesday, October 21st right now as I'm recording this video because I found some time to do so. I had like a work meeting today, so like I had a full face of makeup on and I thought, why not? Let's just go ahead and film a video because I'm going to be out of town this weekend, so I'm not going to be able to do like a normal whip update. But I thought this would be some good content to share in place of that, just to kind of give you the full picture of the types of things that I will most likely be working on now and in the future. So first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who watched my first floss tube and my whip parade. I've gotten a lot of great comments and it's been really heartwarming for me, I guess, to just already feel welcome from this other side of the community than from the side that I'm usually coming from, which, I'm the one making comments and loving everyone's work and progress. So it feels really good. I work from home a lot and I don't have much of a social life. So this feels good. So thank you. Thank you for subscribing and commenting. And I hope that you will stick with me as we continue on. One more thing before I hop into projects is that I didn't mention this last time, but I'm going to mention it now. I am signed up for my very first retreat. It Since I live in Arizona and the attic is my local needle workshop. Every summer they do a what they call the summer school, and they have several classes that take place. I believe this year they have six instructors. And so I decided that what better way to hop into the retreat world than, go to my local needle shops event. So I signed up and I'm registered. And so if anyone else is going to summer school in August, let me know. I would love to see you in person. So, with that being said, I believe I have three whips that I missed showing before, and we will get to those real quick. The first one is out of the Home for Holidays book by Blackbird. I got this last year when it was reprinted or printed. I don't know if it was brand new. Um, and I immediately started stitching. Is it right at the very end? Ugh, ridiculous. I immediately started stitching "'Tis the Season," which I absolutely love. Um, I got the called for, I think it's Felsois silks. Um, yeah, I got the Belsois silks, which was the first time I'd ever like fully kitted a project in its called for silk. And that's been a lot of fun. I started in the middle and decided I was going to, well, I'll show you I started in the middle, and this is a 40 count Valor by Picture This Plus. And I love how it's stitching up. I just, I would pick it up and do a leaf. I would pick it up and do a star. And um, it's been a lot of fun. I definitely only stitch on this during the season though. So I'm probably not going to work on it again until like November. But yeah, that was a start from last year. The next one I just started this a week ago, I think, and it's called oh M. Satterthwaite, 1807, a Quaker sampler. It's by Shakespeare's Peddler. Let's see if I hide my face. Um, I don't know why, but I was really drawn to this, and I think, I'm not a traditional sampler sister. I've never stitched a traditional sampler before, but I do love Quakers, and so I saw this and definitely had to do it. So I started up here in this top corner, and I cannot remember the name of this fabric, but I'm testing something on here. So this is actually a 56 count fabric. Um, I don't remember who it's by, and I don't remember what the color is, but it's a super dirty, like grungy grayish. And I am stitching it 1/2. Let's see if I can. I'm stitching it 1/2. Nope, doesn't want to focus. With 103 silks. So if you've heard of the reputation of the attic, they champion silk conversions and they champion stitching on very high counts of fabric, like 56 count and whatnot. And so, of course, I was influenced and excited by the challenge and decided that, if the model stitches at the attic are absolutely beautiful, and most of them are like on 56 count with very tiny stitches, and they're tiny, perfect, beautiful stitches. So I'm excited to work on this more. So like this is a 56 count, which means, and I'm stitching over two, so it's 23 count, really. I'm doing 23 stitches per inch. Um, but if you can imagine that compared to like a 14 count, it would be like twice as big almost. So I'm loving that. When I do pull it out, I usually work on it in tandem with something else because the stitches are so small. It needs to be a certain time of day, and my eyes need to be like not tired. So I usually would keep it out in its own Q snap and put in like a thread length or two, and then work on something else and just keep it out for a couple of days before I get tired of it, I guess. But I love this. I want to stitch on it more. And the last whip that I forgot is a full coverage, which I also recently started. This one I am stitching for my brother. He loves a tabletop game called Warhammer 40K. And this artwork, ooh, glare. Mm, mm, I think that's the best you're gonna get. So this artwork um was just like a wallpaper, like a high quality wallpaper that you could get online. And I put it through wind stitch to get a full coverage pattern, and it's 200 by 400 and something, I think. And I'm starting in the bottom, the very bottom here, where these gold pieces are, because I didn't want to start with black. And I think like half the pattern is black. And so I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross on 28 count. It's just like it's either a winter moon or a cream by Zweigart. So this is my start. And the very middle is about here. And there are like two pages, a page here and a page here that I started and just kind of picked colors and took them all the way through. And then I kind of got stuck on this page here because there's a lot of black to kind of provide a framework. And so I'm going to finish that page first and then finish this and kind of go where I want. But I did reach 5,000 stitches on this, which made me feel like I could put it away for a while. I am finding that it's very enjoyable these days for me to stitch 1/1 on 28 count. I'm really enjoying it. I did stitch two threads over one stitch on 28 count 10 stitch for a long time, but I'm finding that the image is crisper and clearer if I use full cross. So we'll see. So those are three whips that I missed. Now we're gonna move on to some kitted up projects. So, also, now this is probably not going to get started until Christmas time, but I also want to stitch Christmas Garden out of this book. And I finally have it all kitted up. So there's Christmas Garden, and it calls for a mix of classic colorworks and gentle art. And so they're very soft colors. And I'm sure I've heard people say that the colors seem a bit more faded than they used to be, but I think that they're gonna look great. And I'm totally interested in making it like, you know, faded and uh like I love this gold color. And this kind of ranges from like a pink to a red, which I also really like. So I think that's going to be really great. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count Valor Newcastle, just like 'tis the season. So I will definitely be starting that this winter. Now I have a couple of projects kitted up. I was at the attic a few weeks ago and I picked up some fabric. And this piece is called Rustic Charm by Seraphim Fabrics. And it's like this dirty rust orangey color. And I had to have it, and I knew exactly what I wanted to stitch on this. It's a huge, it's a fat half, but it's 46 count, which means you can fit a lot on it. And so I pulled out some of my Blackbird patterns that I was like, I am definitely going to stitch on this. So um I have the Raven Bewitched, which is going to go on here. I have now I have A Way We Ride. This may go on here. I haven't quite decided. I might use a bit more of a neutral for this because it does have some orange tones that kind of hang out on their own, which might get lost. And then I'm going to do Halloween Eve on there. And I did look, for this one, I'm using the DMC conversion. And all the colors, all the oranges will still work on this fabric. And then we have Midnight Watch, of course, which still grungy. I like it. So I have those ready to go whenever I feel like working on them. Let's stick these back in here. All right, next. I got this from the attic as well. It's cottage cottage garden samplings new series they're doing this year, which is the Fabulous House series. And the first one I saw that I really had to get was the castle. And so I got the two overdyed cottons that go with this. And then I picked out fabric is this. Oh, this is a special fabric. This is a leftover piece from I've used from something else. And I also have like a partial project on here that got UFO'd. But this is, I think it's vintage cedar plank by Lakeside Linen. Um, I've been holding on to it since like 2019 because, um, Lakeside Linens are so hard to get a hold of now. But it's this beautiful grungy color and it's grayish, and I think that this is going to go really well together. And it's good to use up stash. I'm trying to use more stash. Another one I have kitted up. I have a full set of DMC floss, so I don't like I don't pull DMC specifically for a project. I pull DMC from my master set and then I replace it. The only time I don't do that is if it's a huge project that requires a lot of one color just to make sure the dye lot is the same. But I've had this kitted up for a long time, October 31st by Cottage Garden. I definitely want to stitch this soon. I have this kitted up with Ancient. It's 40 count Ancient by Picture This Plus. It was the first time it was going to fit on this little piece because it's 40 count. So that's going to be great. I love the color Ancient. It's like tan, but it's got a bit of blue splashed into it and a bit of orange. It's very pretty. And I have all the colors in here for that. The next one that's kitted up that is begging to be started is Halloween Sampler by Cottage Garden again. I've seen Jessie Marie Does Stuff work on this, and it's so pretty. I have the overdyes that are called for this to get the colors in there. And I am stitching this on 46 count Friends by Atomic Ranch. Or no, not Friends. It's Freeze. Frieze, Freeze. And it is this, I saw this and I picked it up and I didn't know what I was going to stitch on it, but I bought it. And then when I got home, I decided that I knew what I was going to stitch on it. But it's a fat half, so I'll be able to stitch more than one thing on this. You can't quite tell from the video, but this fabric it's like a light grayish tan with splashes of greenish blue and pink in it. And I think that background is going to go really well to highlight the design on this. So that is going to be fun. I lost. No, I didn't. Okay, good. So that one's exciting. You'll notice I don't have project bags. I just use plastic. Whatever I have on hand, I reuse. So this a pattern was in here originally, and now, oh no, this was just for the fabric. So this is a bag for the fabric, and I just popped in the threads and the pattern. Another one I've had kitted up for a while is by the Cricut collection. It's the Skeleton Crew. And no, I have all the floss for this, and I have fabric. It's a nice dirty fabric. I don't know why I like dirt fabric. It's a Weeks Dye Works in 36 count called Aspen, which is like a brown with a bit of green, like a woodsman green in there a little bit. So um it's pretty it's the fabric in the photo is a little greener. It's like a brighter green, but I think this is going to work just as well because it's dirty. Another one, I just kitted this up last year. I definitely want to start this at some point soon. It's by Glendon Place. It's Sleepy Hollow. I've seen lots of people stitch this and it's been on my list. I did get all the specialty items for it, and I'm stitching it on Haunted by Picture This Plus. I don't know if that's the called for it, but I've seen it stitched on it and I knew, yes, it is the called for. Okay, so I'm doing everything called for on this. So that'll most likely get started this year, sometime soon. The next I have, I just kitted this up. I bought the pattern and kitted it up after seeing Cross Stitch the Globe, Allison's Progress on this. This is Moon Glow by Nora Corbett. It's going to be my first like regular Nora start. And I just love this. This is going to hang up in my bedroom. And so I have all the beads for it. I even got the DMC so I wouldn't have an excuse. I could just start it. And then I also have everything else for it as well, though I don't know where that bag went. It's going to be really fun putting my stuff away or making sure things are in the right place. Okay. Another one I just kitted up. I saw this on someone's Flosstube and I can't remember who, but I've been looking at one moment. Okay. I've been looking at Reflet de Soie patterns. I love the painterly style of some what do you call it? Samplers. And so I decided that this was going to be my first one. And I am going to be stitching it on 46 count raw Bristol linen, which is just, yeah, that's pretty accurate. And I have all the Soie d'Alger floss to go with it. I'm super excited. It's probably gonna be a little chunky just because silk does tend to be a little puffier unless you get the 103s, but I don't care. I'm still gonna stitch it on 46 count. So that is definitely getting started in the near future. And then another, oh, the Karen Water Lilies, the Karen Water Lilies for Moon Glow was in here. That's right. Because it also has threads for another project I'm gonna hopefully start soon. And this is also by Reflet de Soie. It's Entrelacs Blue. And I was seeing Lisa, who I still can't think of your Flosstube name. I don't know why. Lisa, you have beautiful projects and you stitch a lot, and you were working on this, and I had to have it. So I'm going to be stitching this on 46 count flax Bergen linen, which is it's lighter than the raw. It's like a light gray, and I'm going to be stitching it with these blues. So that's going to be wonderful. All right, we are almost done. I just have two more to go, and then I'll show you what residual haul I got when I was doing retail therapy at midnight one Saturday. So this one is Mirabilia. This is Lilith of Labrador. And I saw Angela stitch this and fell in love. And she stitched it on Haunted by Picture This Plus. So I decided I needed to get Haunted by Picture This Plus. And hers looks amazing. So definitely going to do that. I have the beads and I have the water lilies. The Kreinik was not in stock. Periwinkle just goes in and out of stock very quickly everywhere. So I switched it up with a petite treasure braid which is it's a bit more pink than the like bluishness of the periwinkle, but I figured that's okay. It'll just be a little more personalized for myself. So that is getting started soon. Like that's on the short list. Um, that's probably going to get started in the next couple weeks. And then wait, where's my other one? Oh, the other memorabilia that I have pinned up is a Midsummer Night's Fairy. And this is actually after Gypsy Queen. This was the very next one that I kitted up. And I've actually had it kitted up for a couple years. And I was supposed to start it after I finished Gypsy Queen and then couldn't bring myself to make the commitments. So I'm going to be stitching this on 32 count lock by Picture This Plus. And it's definitely a bit more teal than what it's showing. It's showing like a blue gray, but it's definitely more teal to go with the teals that are in this pattern. But that does not want to show up through my camera for some reason. And I have everything in here. I have the DNC, I have the Krynic, I have the beads. Like it is ready to go. So that'll be another start at some point. But I think I'm going to start with of Labrador first. Okay. So one other thing I wanted to show you is that while I was at the attic, I found the Tricks or Treat booklet by Blackbird, and I want to stitch everything in here. It's just a couple of Blackbird smalls. Let me see what I can find in here. Here's the middle. What drew me is this pattern, but I want to stitch everything. So the one that I have stitched so far, which was not shown in my finishes, was well, I'll just show it to you because it's finished now. Is this little guy, little ornament. And this is stitched on 46 count Moonstone by Fiber on a Whim, which it's it's not as cream, it's a little tanner, but it's like a pale tan. And it's modeled. And I'm gonna stitch probably everything from here will go on this. So that's fun. I stitched this in about 2 days. I literally got home from the attic I got home from the attic and I sat down that afternoon and I was like, what of all the lovely things that I purchased do I want to work on right now? And so I pulled this out because it was easy and small and I picked my own colors. So um I used Sweet Potato by ooh, is that a week's that works? I think it's a week's dye works. Yeah, these are all weeks. Yep. So the orange is Sweet Potato and the grayish dark gray is something from Stash because it was supposed to be Weeks Dye Works mascara and I the attic didn't have any. I ended up ordering some off One Two Three Stitch. But in the meantime, I used one of the dark overdyes that I had in my stash. It's either Carriage House or Coal. It might be Coal by Weeks Dye Works. I don't know. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. It's very small. Here's my hand. So I'll stitch more of those because those are easy to pick up and put down, which was great. Another pattern I got from the attic is also when I got the Shakespeare's Peddler Quaker. I got Anne Grimshaw because it's very similar, but I love the typeface. I love the typeface on these. So I'm gonna stitch them both on the same fabric and then they'll kind of like go together. So that'll be nice. Long time in paper though. All right, last thing. So being stressed at work, what do? I cross stitch whatever I feel like. And which I should not be doing. But I think it's the possibility of like what I could cross stitch that like gives me this bit of um I don't know. It just makes me feel better in the moment, not the next day when I realize how much I spent. But I'll show you what I got. I got this buttons and beads kit, these cute little trick-or-treaters. It's called Halloween Night. Super cute. And then I got another one called Into the Woods. Super cute. And I got the Spring Green Pears by Annie B's Folk Art. I've been seeing these around and I am in love. I'd like to do more of them as well, but I figured I've been seeing this one and so I wanted to get that. I got a Nora Corbett. This is the Willow Queen, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Mhm. I have no designs on stitching this anytime soon, but you never know. And then I also got this other Nora Corbett called Lotus, because this is what I hope to achieve someday is just peace. So I like that. And I'm interested in stitching some smaller pieces. If you looked at my whip parade, you would see that it's a lot of very large items, which take a long time, which means I don't get finishes very often. So having some smalls in my rotation would be really great. I got this Marejka kit. It's Twilight Reflection. I love the dark moodiness of this. Sorry for the reflection. There we go. I love that. It's like nighttime on the canal. It's beautiful. And then from Tiny Modernist, I got Halloween Terrarium. It's a cute little thing. Oops, sorry, shaky hands. So I might start that again because it's a small. I also got Tiny Modernist Autumn Tradition Sampler. I saw this last year. I think it was last year when it came out, and I was really interested. So again, it's a simpler design, but I feel like I could then finish it in a reasonable amount of time. The original reason I went to Tiny Modernist section was for this pattern, and the other ones just sort of fell into my cart. It's called Moths and the Moon. Very pretty. And then I know it's Manning May right now. Everyone has a Carolyn Manning on the go. I do not. I'm not a huge fan of most of her kaleidoscope type stuff. It's just not my style, I guess. But I saw this stained glass piece. There we go. I saw this stained glass piece and I was like, yeah, I want to stitch that. I think that looks great. I'm going to stitch it very small. So see what the stitch count is real quick. I want to stitch it on 46 count, I think. I decided I don't like using DMC on 56 count. It's just too puffy. It's too big, which means that I would need to use like 103 silks, which are very expensive. And so, but 46 count DMC is fine on. So I think I'll do this on 46 count and stitch count is, let's find out. Not it. Here we go. It's 171 by 171. So on 22 count, it would be almost 8 by 8. So if I'm stitching 46 count, oh, 46 count divided by 2 is 20, is 23. 56 count divided by 2 is 28. 28 count. Okay. Brain doesn't work outside of work. Sorry. So I would stitch this on 46 count over 2, which would make it 23 count. So it would be about under an 8 by 8, which I think is a great size. So no immediate plans to stitch out right now, but you never know. This is a piece that could be easy to pick up and put down. So it could. And then the very last thing during my spending rampage is my first long dog sampler. This is Death by Cross Stitch. I love many long dog sampler patterns, but if I were going to stitch just one, it would be Death by Cross Stitch. And that's been I mean, I love the sentiment behind it. And this is the very first pattern that I ever saw by Long Dog Samplers that I was just like, holy cow. And I've seen it stitched up and it's amazing. And so this is my Long Dog Sampler. I will also probably be stitching that soon. So that is everything. That is now all of my whips, and several things that I have kitted up that are in my mind that I may start whenever I feel like it. And then also just a bit of haul of new things that I've pulled into my stash. Thank you for coming back and watching. If it's your first time, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like some of the patterns and projects that you see here. If you are stitching any of these patterns that I've shown, please let me know. If you have an Instagram or a Flosstube, let me know so I can see your work. I'm definitely very much interested in seeing what other people are working on. So, yeah. So I will be back. June 1st, which is next Saturday, for a regular whip update. And in the meantime, I hope you have fun stitching. Thank you for watching. I will catch you later.